All right, what's up, guys? Key from P's and Q's here. We're sitting down with Saeed Ferguson, co-founder of All Cap Studio and founder of Frog Radio.
Yeah, one of them.
All right. Saeed, you want to give a brief? Well, can't do a brief intro. I just did it for you. So, Saeed, who did you vote for and why? All right, ready to get to it. You want to do a brief intro of like who you are?
Yeah, easy.
I wanna go a little deeper though. Like let's start from, my favorite question to ask people at the shop. I don't know if you recall, like when people told me they're from Philly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what high school did you go to? Maybe let's start from the high school.
Oh yeah.
All the way till now, because I feel like that kind of shapes us. Once you hit high school, you're going through puberty. You're kind of trying to find yourself, and you still don't find yourself after high school, but eventually you do find yourself somewhere. If you ever find yourself, but I feel like that's the start for me, is high school.
Yeah, I went to FLC right at 15th and Spring Garden, pretty much.
Class of
2013.
2013.
Yeah, good year. Yeah, high school was interesting. I was literally, like you said, trying to find myself. I was first started off as like a gamer. I was like super shy in high school.
Incredible gamer.
Yeah.
The best of the best. Kids would sneak into the store and talk about this kid. Was there a major at FLC? Like, did you have a major?
Yeah.
How was your grades? Were you a good student? Were you a sleeper, sleeping in class?
I was definitely a sleeper.
Yeah.
I was definitely a sleeper.
With the book on top, or you just didn't care, you just went to bed?
I just went to bed. Yeah, I was a heavy sleeper. I was a good student until like junior year, and then I learned how to like finesse the system, and I would like.
All right.
Just because you had like a credit system, you can like, they were just like physical, you could like fill them out. I usually just take them and fill them out. And just
what? So you had like a 4.2 then, GPA?
It was like, I think I ended up with like a 3.8 or something.
Damn, scholar.
But I kind of like regret it looking back because I feel like that was a good, I guess it kind of shaped who I am today. But I wish I'd like learned more while I was in high school. I like, towards the end of it, didn't care too much. I was just like focused on streetwear and photography and stuff like that, and hanging out with friends.
Okay. Would you ever go back and do any projects with FLC?
I think I would, yeah. I would. I've been thinking about that recently, just trying to find ways to share information with the youth, especially in Philadelphia, because I feel like not everyone, but I feel like the educational system in Philly is a bit tough, and everyone gets influenced by like rap and like their immediate surroundings, and it would be nice to share information about like what else is possible, and you can make a design in streetwear, design, photography. Like I feel like a lot of kids don't realize that's a possibility, and yeah, it'd be cool to share that.
If Saeed today went back to FLC and young Saeed from FLC was sitting there, would he like this knowledge hearing from Saeed today? Like, would he be intrigued? Would he be inspired? Would he love to hear these things?
I think yes and no. Young Saeed was trying to become a photographer, so I think he would like that part. I think also young Saeed was like trying to be a cool guy and was like into fashion and like trying to figure out what's the next thing. And
fashion and music too, right?
And music, yeah. But I think he would be interested. I was really trying to find myself and like figure out what I wanted to do. So I was trying to like figure out, I was doing a bunch of different things. I was like managing a rap group. I was taking photos. I was learning about psychology. Like I was doing a bunch of things, just trying to learn what I liked. And yeah, I think if I were to see myself and like speak to myself, I think he would be into like knowing that being a creative is like having a creative career is possible. And
so young Saeed back then, what was his end game or career goal? Just to be a photographer?
Was a photographer, and then I think
like fashion or for sports, for
that part I didn't know. I think I just liked taking photos. I think I wanted to be like, I was doing like more documentary kind of stuff. So I think like probably more like documentary style photography. But then once I learned about streetwear and started working with you guys at Abacus, I started to like learn more about that. I was like, maybe owning a store could be my thing. And yeah, that became my new goal, was like trying to like figure out how I can own a store one day.
That hit different for me because I've been doing this for, I guess, 15, going on 20 years. And I had a lot of people that worked at Abacus, P's and Q's for her, P's and Q's. I've never had anyone told me, it's like, I'm going to open my own store one day. Yeah. I was like, damn, this kid's ballsy. I love this shit. You're a tough. And I'm like, but damn, he still got customer service skills. But you got a lot better as you went. In the beginning, you were shy.
Yeah.
Then you got crazy comfortable, and then you just start laughing. And from there, I think people just like gravitated towards you.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of love your personality, love who you were. Yeah. I guess from your experience at Abacus, I guess you want to touch more details on like your experience there.
Yeah, Abacus really like opened me up. I was a really shy kid. I didn't really know I knew how to talk to people my age, but like, and people I was comfortable with, but like a new person, I didn't really know how to like immediately open that door and talk to them. So Abacus taught me a lot about just social skills and also just work ethic. I think I knew I had it in me, but I never
You didn't know how to get there or take it there?
Yeah, I just never had something to work for. And Abacus gave me that thing to drive for. Like, this became like my new goal to like make this a good store, essentially. So I was like, I started, and you guys too, just like mentoring me like what hard work was.
Right.
Getting to the store early, cleaning it, and making sure like the content was good, making sure the store looked good, customer service was good, all of it. I was just trying to figure it out. I never knew. Like the hardest thing I ever worked at was gaming. So I knew I had it, like I can grind something, but I never did it for like a passion or like a job or like something outside of gaming. So that kind of like opened my whole world and like, literally became a new person. And yeah.
Do you recall our first real conversation together? Like we knew each other for a long time now. You would come in and out the shop at Abacus, but there was this one time, and you probably know where I'm going with this. You're just sitting at the centerpiece at Abacus. You're waiting for hours. I'm like, bro, you good? You're like, yeah, I'm good. And you would just sit there. You're not even facing the TV at this point. You're just staring at the shoes and the clothes, and you're waiting for hours. I'm like, yo, bro, you good? And you're like, oh, I'm just waiting for Dave. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Dave finally shows up hours later. I'm like, Dave, he's been waiting here for you forever. He's sitting at the centerpiece with his little duffel bag of his. Yeah. And he finally showed up. But that's kind of like, I feel like that was our start of our conversation and our relationship. And from there, like, I'm like, oh, this kid's awesome, man. He's funny as shit. He's goofy. He can take jokes, gives jokes. And I think for me, that was my beginning with Saeed Ferguson, my beginning relationship with you. And I feel like we started building from there. And obviously with the internship, then hired as part-time, and then transferred to P's and Q's. And I guess, what is your experience with P's and Q's after Abacus?
P's and Q's to me is my school. That was like, I went to college, went to high school, but P's and Q's was truly like my school. I think back and like, that is my university, like P's and Q's university. That's where I went to school. That's where I learned how to be a person, how to like, a lot of the friends, I think Rick's here. Yeah, I just saw him.
Yeah, right.
I think so.
Saeed. This is Saeed Ferguson being racist.
No,
Rick! Oh shit, Rick is here. He's joining us. Rick, come grab a seat. Sorry. Oh shit, I'm being rude. Sorry, I gotta take my shoes off.
How you doing?
No, I'm just gonna stand by here.
No, we'll just join. I mean, let's keep it flowing. It's pretty good. So far, we passed high school. We're on to Abacus, and then we're on to P's and Q's. All right, so, sorry guys, Saeed's not racist. If you guys don't know, Saeed's actually the third Chinese member at P's and Q's.
It's true.
That's another story.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Right? That shit was funny.
I mean, people did confuse Saeed with being Asian. Like, what was that? The Chinese bull. The other bald guy. And it's Saeed.
Yeah.
I guess so.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, I can start from the top. So P's and Q's to me was my school. It was like where I learned to be a person, where I learned to everything about work. Literally from as a human, everything you can learn, I learned a lot from P's and Q's for like my taste in food and like exploring restaurants, exploring music, exploring books and physical fitness. Like Rick got me into running and stuff like that. Like there was a lot. Like it really shaped my lifestyle and like who I was. And yeah, it was more than just the store. It was like a full lifestyle, and getting to know you guys as family, and like it really was like a really bonding. Like I got to learn a lot about life. It was like a life journey for me.
Yeah, I think we all learn from each other.
I think, you know, also like learning from you, like the youth and stuff like that, we're open to, I guess, like learning about young people in general, you know. I think like, I guess we had to like accept a lot of the,
Well, Saeed kept us young.
yeah, to be honest with you, like a lot of the music especially, because I didn't know a lot of the dance stuff and
Yeah,
stuff.
Saeed taught us the stanky leg.
Oh my
God. That was a good one.
You know, and also like, I guess like, you know, I guess with certain, you know, I guess politics too and stuff like that, and you know, the scene and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we learn from each other, to be honest with you. I learned a lot about Saeed, you know, and everything about where he's from, Fox Chase, which is the middle of nowhere. I'll tell you that.
I think there's a story before Fox Chase,
What?
right? You were there. Fox Chase wasn't where you were raised.
That was like teenage years. So I would go, yeah, that was like high school. And then I grew up in Feltonville before that. A little neighborhood in North Philly.
Yeah.
But
I just remember dropping off at Fox Chase. I'm like,
middle of
Jesus.
nowhere, literally.
Well, he always talk about Will Smith's mansion.
Oh yeah, it was right there on the corner.
Right. You always Will Smith's mansion's right there.
That's
there
the
it
best
is.
part.
Yeah. But I guess like even though like it's fun exploring, you know, I guess like even though like we were like eating and exploring, like you were exploring new foods, it was fun too because like you would get excited. I see your eyes just light up.
Yeah.
Like Soho chicken wings, for
Yeah.
example, Soho Cafe. And
Yeah.
your eyes would light up. Like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
And to me, that was like pretty awesome. Like when your eyes get you know, lit up when you're eating like Soho Cafe. You know, to me that was like, it was special for me too because I just remember like you just, you know, just being happy, and for me that was fun too.
The lifestyle is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like it made no sense. I mean, we worked hard, but we partied just as hard as well.
Yeah.
There was times where we would drive to Joshua Tree, and Saeed's throwing up before a photo shoot. I remember he was spreading his legs out. His eyes must have lit up the same way you were talking about, and he's throwing all his pink stuff everywhere.
That's the question. Is Saeed didn't eat nothing pink, but for some reason he threw up pink vomit.
But the funny part was he was like, Rick, I think I gotta throw up. Rick's like, yeah, okay. It's like 10 miles later, like, Rick, no, I'm serious, I gotta throw up. So we finally pulled over, he threw up, did his thing. Saeed got back in the car. 2 hours later, did a whole photo shoot at Joshua Tree. That was our second round, right? Or is that the first round? We shot it twice, back to back.
We
It
did
was
it
crazy.
twice,
I
yeah.
think between us three, we did a lot of guerrilla stuff.
Yeah.
Like from Italy to Joshua Trees, a lot of the trips that we've done together, even like New York trips, just like out the whim.
Yeah.
We would just do it, you
Yeah.
know, and that was the fun part, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning parts like P's and Q's, we were learning too at the same time, like what was P's and Q's, what direction we wanted to go. And as, you know, the three of us, we were just learning, you know, as a business and as a journey together, how we wanted it to be. And it was fun because we explored so much. Joshua Tree was just an adventure alone because we went back to back. That's crazy. to
That
be
is
honest with
crazy.
You. You think about it.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I mean, it's a 6-hour drive, almost like
Yeah.
each way, and we're like going back like 3 hours, like 3 to 4 hours each way. And we're
Yeah.
like, as soon as we landed, pick up David, go to Joshua Tree.
Wait, did
Yeah.
David model twice for us? Back
he
to
modeled
back?
He
twice
did
for us.
both
Yeah.
days, yeah.
Both days. I remember we got there, the
Thanks,
sun was
Dave.
going down, the sun was going down, it was windy as fuck, and we're like, this is the worst idea ever. And for some reason, the night before, we got hammered, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
We eat, drink, and get hammered, and next day we shoot super early, and that's what we do.
That was a lifestyle.
That was our lifestyle at one point.
We were
to be
built
honest.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, but that's what we do. We, no matter what, we always get up early and do what we have
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And you know, eventually, like, I don't know. It just that was. I don't think
It was a special time.
It was a special time.
It's you know, special at that moment. I don't think if we try to duplicate it again, it would be great, but it would never be as good.
Yeah.
That's why I just gotta keep going forward and create more moments in time.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like at Abacus, I've always ran a lot of stuff by myself, visually, design, photography, shoes. Saeed started picking up a little bit of taking pictures of the footwear, the shoes. I even feel I gained more responsibility than some of the older guys that worked there, and I felt like they felt some type of way. Like, dang, this high school kid just came in and he's doing more than I'm doing already. And like, damn, that's the first time I started experiencing like somewhat, I guess, envy or maybe a little jealousy of like, thing is, people are looking at Saeed differently because this kid's like top of his game, doing a lot more than other people his age. I mean, older than him. So then we go to P's and Q's. I'm like, damn, I'm finally like the way Saeed's been shooting. He's been incredible photographer. I'm like, yo, it's time for me to kind of let go of the camera and kind of hand it to Saeed. And Saeed took over our visual game after that and became like the visual artist for P's and Q's, creating content. From there it grew. And do you feel like, where did you start finding your love for photography in that sense and creating, I guess, a story into the visual aspect?
Yeah, so photography was like, I was trying to find my voice in it. I like the medium, like just, you able to like take this moment and save it forever. And a lot of it was like just me just hanging out with friends, taking like these moments and like cherishing them. But I never could put it into like a context of art. And I was always trying to find that. So the shop helped me like shape that. I could take photos of clothes, but you can tell a story beyond that. You could be like, okay, like this collection is telling the story of, I don't know, this specific part of Philadelphia. And from there, I really started to like dive deeper into that and like developing my thoughts about what photography was. And I don't think if it wasn't for the shop, I don't think I would have found that. Like discovering storytelling through images and just through art. I think a lot of that informs what I do now today. I feel like that's a key moment in my life. It's just going through that phase of just like, it's not just a new drop, it's like a whole story behind it. And yeah, the way you guys thought about that really shaped the way I thought about it.
That's great, because I felt like you took it to another level. You start bringing the homies out, taking pictures of your friends.
Yeah.
You had fun with it. I remember seeing like lookbooks where I'm like, oh, you see the whole set of clothes, but then you see the guy's head hidden behind the bush. I'm like, oh, Saeed's going crazy. But I love it, you know? Like it didn't make sense, but then it made sense for some reason.
Yeah.
And I felt like you had a lot of fun with it. I guess after P's and Q's came, well, I guess all caps was already kind of in the works during P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Right, you were starting it. I mean, you had other brands, other projects before.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, but then for some reason, why would you say all caps stand out amongst all the other projects that you did in the past with other people or yourself?
Yeah, I think all caps took all the lessons of the previous projects and put it into one thing, and I just landed on something that eventually worked. I think a lot of it's just trying it, and that's always been like something I've been big on. Just like, you never know if something's gonna. You just gotta like do it and see if it's gonna work. And I'm a big believer in that. Just experimenting, having this belief that you can do it, and then after you do it, taking those lessons and making another thing better. And yeah, all caps is just something. It's like a combination of like my photography learnings and like the early brands that I was trying to start, and like matching those things together, and the hard work that I learned from P's and Q's, and like mixing all these different things that I've learned over the course, and then put them together, and then finding, luckily, a winning solution.
It's a beautiful brand. I think for me, it's very inspiring, you know. I look at it all the time. You just feel like the vibes. Like every time I see a studio session or a simple product, you can feel like, yo, Saeed did that. Like you can feel your energy. Sometimes I can hear your laughter when I look at these pieces, you know, like they're very beautiful to me.
I think, you know, a lot of pieces, they're fun.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes like, I feel like with a lot of pieces, like when people sell, it's like, all you do is sell. But
right, yeah.
In general, that's sometimes like, you know, people can feel it when you're trying to sell. But when you're having fun, you can feel the vibes of having fun, and people, they'll buy into that versus like trying to sell stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the difference between like you and like a lot of brands. Like certain brands are successful because they don't try to sell you all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies in general, that's where they fail, when they're trying to sell you all the time. And that's why like P's and Q's, Paratotal, all caps, you know, like certain brands that does well because we don't try to sell all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that works, you know, in general. And I think that's like the model for us in general, because we don't always try to sell all the time. We just set the vibe and stuff like that.
We're building something more than products. We're building with a community.
Yeah.
So for us, it's about the people first.
Yeah. You know, and if you get the community behind you, and you know, sky's the limit. To be honest with you, start. I guess like that foundation first. Then after that, you can kind of like globally. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
Yeah. But
I'm pretty sure your audience know where it came from, but I don't think the P's and Q's audience does know where it came from. What is the whole thing about the frog?
So the frog is like, to me now, it's a symbol.
Do you have any pet frogs first?
I wanted one.
Yeah.
But I have too many pets already. So I want to keep it easy on the pets. So for me, the frog means it's like a symbol of growth and transformation. But it all started as like kind of a joke between me and Andrew, who's like another member of All Caps. We used to like this. Andrew's like hyper like meme and internet type of guy, and I'm also just like into internet and like meme culture. And we used to just send memes to each other. And there was like this era in 2020 where we just kept sending frog memes, and I guess subconsciously I just had this image of frogs in my head. And I was just like threw it into a graphic just for fun, and like I loved the feeling, and people also resonated. And I was like, we should just keep making frog stuff. And then I just started learning more about frogs, and they actually are super interesting, and like they have such a unique transformation. And I feel like that resembles me in a way. Like I grew as like a shy kid, like literally a tadpole, and I grew into like a better understanding of the world of an adult, like understanding of just being like a better human through all my experiences. And now I can become a quote unquote frog. So that's kind of like the symbolism that I attach to.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll formulate that frog into a more dominant and more core logo for the brand?
I think about it a lot, yeah. I think it could be, I think as it stands now, it's kind of like our like unofficial mascot in a way.
Right.
And we like lean on it. We have like a radio show called Frog Radio. We kind of like just play with it. I think eventually we probably will have that as like a true defining moment. But I'm still trying to like learn and figure what that actually means for All Caps. But I think eventually it could be a logo for sure.
Any future projects or future plans for the brand?
Yeah, I think 2025, I want to find this balance of being both a store, both a clothing, like just being a brand and also a design studio. I think I want to start opening like the practice up to like work with other brands, other like businesses, and just operate on a level of like business to business instead of business to consumer, but also keeping the brand as like a defining moment. I think we can develop our style and we can have fun with the brand, and then the design studio is kind of like people see the brand and like want to come to us for that style and those ideas, and then we can do that for them. So I want to start shaping that out in 2025 and the future, and then see where that goes. And yeah, just do more stuff in the community, more events, and work with all these connections that we have to like really empower Philadelphia and Philadelphia creatives.
Would you say it's like difficult now as you get older to balance like, I guess, your personal life with like everything that's going on right now? Like as you get older, like I feel like as you get older, like
Yeah.
when I got older with P's and Q's, I felt like my personal life got a little bit more complicated with everything else, because then there's work and there's personal life, and it's like one of the most difficult things.
It's so hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
Do you turn it off when you go home, or you keep it on?
It's a mix. It depends on what's happening, but I try to turn it off, but sometimes it doesn't turn off. It just like keeps going. Sometimes I just want to hang out, but I just end up opening up my laptop and start working.
What do you do to turn it off? What do you have, or what do you do, or where do you have to go to turn it off? Because there's gonna be a time where you need to focus on your life.
Yeah, I do it in the morning now. I wake up really early, and I have like a 4-hour window where I just don't do work. I just work out, I hang out, I meditate, I just ease into the day. And then the rest of the day I just work, and at the end of the day I try to hang out, but it depends. But these days I wake up like 4:30, 4:40, and then I like go to the gym for like an hour, just like let things out, just ease into the day, and then go home, have breakfast, chill. I then like meditate for a little bit, start reading, and then go into work. Like I just work on one thing for like an hour or 2 hours, and then let everything just start to happen then. But that's like the only time I get to really like just be myself, I think, besides doing like work stuff. Yeah, and then at night I try to chill, but it's hard to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah, nighttime is hard to chill. I think I tell people like now, since I have a child, like do everything early in the morning as much as you can.
Yeah.
You kind of feel better at nighttime. I feel like it's like, yeah, it's extra credit we do if you hang out at nighttime, but it's like not essential as like it was like when you were younger. You felt like you need to go out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, fear of missing out almost, but not anymore as you get older.
I don't feel that at all anymore. Yeah.
God damn, I still feel like that. Yeah.
Really?
I still go out, but I think for me, my challenge at nighttime is, you guys probably get it, is what I call the checklist, right? Mm-hmm. You try to sleep, or you try to rest, or you try to do whatever, but then you're checking off what you need to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I need to do this, got this interview, got to design this, need to finish this, write this email. So like, I feel like you're right in the sense it never does turn off, because the back of your brain is still checking off the list while you're trying to focus on something else.
Yeah.
Would you say that's kind of like your biggest challenge as a brand owner, is to separate your own lifestyle with your work lifestyle? Because then your work lifestyle is kind of your lifestyle as well, because you're promoting you as well, you know?
Yeah. It is a challenge. I almost accept it both as the same. Like, my work is my life and my life is my work. Like, I try to look at them as the same thing, because it's hard to like separate it. Just trying to define like the balance. But I think, I don't know, as like, to me, it's still early days for all caps, and like, I think it's hard to find, like, you just, as like, if you really want this thing to be successful, I think you really have to like put as much effort into it as you possibly can, and then let that define the future. And like, you can hire people to then take stuff off your plate in the future, but in the present, you have to figure out the most important thing. So recently, I've just been like, I used to try to find a way to do everything, and one day I have like a checklist. I'm trying to do everything in the checklist, but like now I'm finding like you can't do everything. So I try to focus as much as I can on the most important things, and these days it's been either design or content, and then I put all my energy into designing that day or doing like content that day, and then if I have time left over after that, I try to focus on like whatever extracurricular things I can do. And that's been helping me like process and like understand where I need to be, because it's never going to end. You can do like 1,000 emails. You could do a collab. You could do design a new collection. You can try to do all these things, but your brain just like, you just want to fatigue yourself. So just doing like the most important thing that day, and the next day you'd be like, okay, now I got to do content this day, and then like maybe the next day is like I don't know, an event or something you're trying to focus on. Like, I try to split things up to like make it easier on myself. Yeah.
No, but I feel like it's never easy on yourself, right? It seems like there's so much going on.
Always, yeah. I mean, that's the thing you sign up for. We have this dream, and the dream needs fuel, and we are the fuel. So you always just got to keep feeding it. And at the end of the day, I like really just cherish that this is something I can wake up and do. Like, there's times, like a lot of people, I spend a lot of time in the studio. I probably spend like 10 to 12 hours a day. And a lot of my friends be like, aren't you like exhausted? You're gonna like burn yourself out. And like, I never feel like I'm ever gonna burn myself out. I don't know if I'm fooling myself, but at the end of, like, I truly love what I do. So it doesn't feel like it's exhausting. Like, I call it work, but like, it's truly not like work. It feels like I'm having fun. Like, I'm working on design. I'm working with people that I admire and look up to. And I'm having fun. Like, I'm making clothes and like putting on events, and like sometimes it can be stressful. Like, you have to make money, and it can be like
you keep the lights
pain.
on.
But it's like you get to do, like, you can have fun with it. It's all about like the way you think about it and your mindset.
That is great, but then I feel like it's also could be challenging in the sense of you love what you do, so you don't work a day of your life. But at the same time, I feel like you are probably one of the nicest people I know in my lifetime. And I feel like people probably hit you up constantly, right? All the time, in person, through text, phone calls, emails. Oh, hey, Saeed, let me get this shirt. Hey, Saeed, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like people forget that you're a human being and you got your own life as well. It's like, I can't just stop whatever I'm doing and link up with you or do this. But essentially you could, but at the same time, it'll set back certain stuff too. Yeah. Do you ever feel drained in the sense of like, damn, I just need a break?
Yeah, all the time. I recently just started saying no to people, and like not going to every event and not going to every birthday and not saying yes to everything. Because I used to say yes to everything. And I was just like, just go home at night and be like, damn, I'm exhausted. Like this, and then I would just think about the next thing I said yes to. I'm like, I can't believe I have to go to this thing tomorrow. Like I just kept saying yes to everything, and it's like, why y'all keep like agreeing to things that I probably just like, if I need a break, I should just say no. And I'm sure that person will understand, but I don't know. And I don't know why I became that person, like that just didn't want to let people down, but.
Well, I mean, you're an important person to this community, so your energy, your presence when you're there, like people can feel it, and I don't know, people just like to have you around because you bring that energy for people. And you probably feel like, damn, I need to show up. So then, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
You feel responsible.
But it's also a part of our business to show up these events. It's like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where sometimes when we go to these certain events, we have to show up. It's, part of it, you got to be a sense of the community. You have to show up to these things, But
Yeah,
you do
show
want
support.
to show up. You show support. But also at the same time, we're exhausted too.
Yeah.
You put 10, 12 hours a day, and now you have to show up to this event. It's like, it's tough, because, you're just so tired sometimes. And sometimes you do got to say no. And that's the hardest part, is saying no.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to flake.
Yeah.
And that's the worst when you flake.
Yeah.
If you say yes and you flake, and that's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to get better with that. I've been flanking more recently.
Good.
I'm becoming a flaker.
Corn flakes.
I don't want to say anything, but Saeed might have flaked on the 12-year anniversary.
Yeah, so that's a story. I had to go to an engagement party, so I had to show up to that.
That's all right.
Who got engaged? Your brother?
No, my
Homie?
friend Andre and Cheyenne.
Hey.
Oh, congrats, Andre and Cheyenne.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations on that.
We don't care. Look, everyone has a reason.
I wanted to go though. It looked fun. It looked crazy.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. It was pretty fun, but I figured you had something. You're busy as hell, bro.
Yeah. Certain people I know, like, if they didn't show up, it's because they had a reason. For you, but some people, yeah. I know you're a busy guy. So it's all
I
good.
try to be there.
I see you all the time. I can see you.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you, actually.
Well, I guess the best way to end this, obviously, we've known each other for like over 10 years now, right? Over a decade. Easy.
Over half my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I've actually known Saeed when he had hair.
Well, you knew me when I hear too.
Both these guys had hair.
But one day you get to join us, yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully.
But Saeed was one of the only young kids with facial hair.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, Saeed, if you could, this might be a simple but like a hard to reach answer, but advice for any youth for Philly, what would you tell them from your experience how to attack, reach their dreams? Because what we do, sometimes people think it's easy, but it's really not easy.
It's not easy. I think if I had to give advice, I would say...
They'll see you like, oh, Saeed's having a great time. He's laughing all the time. He's doing this, going there. But they don't see the work ethic, that you do. So if you can give advice to youth on how to approach it, what would that advice be?
I would say, if you have a dream, first, believe in it. 2, get ready to put a lot of energy, a lot of your time, a lot of your passion into it. Find a space that you can do that in. Reach out to like people you look up, whether that's in your community or even like people you look up to, maybe it's like a YouTuber or whoever it is, like feel free, like email and like just put yourself in like that position to be in that space. Cause that changed my life. I've done that. And that's how I got introduced to you guys, just by reaching out through Tumblr, and luckily Shaq read it and then sent it to you guys. So like putting yourself out there is key. And then always learn. Just keep learning about what's happening in the world with new technology within the space that you're in. I think between like all those different things, you can like really bring your passion to life. And dreams do come true, but it takes a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and a lot of belief. So just believe in yourself, and it'll come true.
There. Words from Saeed. We're out. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.